Oh, hey there. Let me show you some MEPS Track. You're probably trying to understand, like, what is this coding that Chief Evans generally puts in for the MEPS Track? Now, first of all, if all projections were done per the projection training, the projected name will actually show on MEPS Track for the day that they're projected. So that's kind of cool. So same day processors and stuff like that, as they get through the testing, their scores will automatically populate in the QT column. One trick that I want you to know about. PyCat verification is a valid thing to do for a same-day processor. Taking a verification test might get them through testing early enough so they might not miss the medical start time at 1000. So just keep that little tidbit for yourself, but maximize on it as two. Now, of course, there's immediately on the education code, if I see that blank, I'm pretty sure that you didn't do our projection or our 1966 training. That's just a first indicator to me, because that's just going to show the education code for the people that we have on deck. Next one should be gender. That should be accurate. Now we get to W type and W top. So the W type means waiver. If there's a waiver that we need from higher headquarters or CNRC, we're going to put whatever type of waiver that is. The first example here is an N33. This person had a medical waiver to be on board. And the fact that there's a time there means that we received it and everything was good. I scroll down, we have an EdVer here, another N33 cut score waiver that we asked for from Pride. And once you have a time, it came back. If there was a civil waiver that we haven't gotten back, the time will not be in there on the W time. The next one that we try to keep track of the most for you, so at least they came out of medical. Oop, and just errored out on me. Hold on one second. We'll get right back there. MEPS Track. And we're looking at yesterday for fun. The next one is the medical time. So that's the time that they've come out of medical. Now, immediately, if they've come out of medical and they're good, the rest of the times will remain, the rest of the items across will remain blank up through status. That way it shows you that they're still in process. Now, if they got disqualified, I'm going to come down here. Try the next page. Here we go. We had somebody who was PDQ, permanently disqualified. So I went ahead and filled in zeros for processing, classification, fingerprints, and swear-in time. That way you know that they're ready to get picked up. But PDQ is a permanent disqualification. So I'll talk about pulleys. On the 2808 that we received from medical, it's going to have notes based on CDQs and PDQs. But overall, the pulleys lines, it tells us if they're qualified to move forward. So pulleys stands for pulmonary, upper body, limbs, hearing, eyes, and psychology. There should be ones across the board that makes them fully qualified. Unless there's a waiver, it can be a 3 and waived. If it's anything other than a 1, it'll be a 0 or a 3 is our expectation. A 0 means it's open, and that's what we usually label as a TDQ, temporarily disqualified, because they might need something. A 3 is a permanent disqualification, which can be waiverable depending on what it is. We try to be a little bit minimal with what we put in here because we have to respect the privacy of HIPAA for the person. But you've known from general experience that you have things like astigmatism, myopia, things that are commonly disqualifying factors. They just need more paperwork, and then we get N33 to override it. So they might have to gather up an eye examination with a full typography, and then that gets sent in to be reviewed for the N33 waiver. Now, the next line for processing, that's the time that it should have gone from one of our civilian processors here over to the classifiers. And then the classifier time represents the time that they finally finish their classification work. After that, they're down the hall. Normally what I try to do is if I'm able to see them coming back, that means I know their fingerprints are done because that's done at during the phase 1 transition. We also identify who the classifier was for that particular individual. And then finally, this is the time that you're all trying to get to so that you can pick them up, the time that they swear in. Now, I'll have to admit, if I see swear-ins during the course of the middle of the day, sometimes not at the end of the day, you're going to get a good time there, or it's going to be 0 saying they're just ready to get picked up. But at the end of the day, if we're getting past what the operational time, just expect that they're going to, in the COVID environment, when we're a minimal number of people from each service down here, the last swearing's probably going to be, maybe a little bit before 4 o'clock. And then when we get back to our full routine, there's possibilities that the swearing could be as late as 1700. Here we have an OPPO candidate. We try to at least let you guys know that the OPPO got out of medical, got their fingerprints done, and that they had a good physical or not. Other than that, MEPS Track is one of our ways to keep you informed. It's no longer got the colors that it used to have, so you don't have to feel too bad. We do talk about things that might be troubles with the kit, so that can get fixed before we have to fully process them through. And yeah, it's just a means to, like, if you check this, you might not have to make too many phone calls to find out how your folks are doing. So good luck out there in the field. Fist bump.